make sure the time's going. So we've been talking with each other about conferring for a few weeks, and not only just this interview, but several times together we've talked. And you also attended my after-school session, which covered reading workshop, independent reading, and conferring. And on your exit slip, you rated yourself as a 5 in your knowledge about independent reading before the presentation. I wondered if you gained any new information that you've been using?
Well, this is my second year back into kindergarten, so I appreciated every little workshop we can do. I like the coaching idea, and I guess I still coached, but this just gave me more examples of how to coach, and then I feel like it's more beneficial to the student.
And we talked yesterday about how you were conferring with your students, but this, what you had said to me, it gave you a purpose, some different ideas that you could do.
Yeah, I like the fact that when I went back to the classroom the next day, I could sit down and say, all right, this one didn't need my help on this book. I just said good job and give them praise, and then go on to the next child. I seem to have gotten more done because I had a purpose.
Right, and it's okay to compliment a child and reinforce what they're doing, and then go on.
Instead of trying to find something,
Yes,
So
that
kind of gave me permission to say, great job. You don't have to worry about that right at the moment. We'll work on something else later.
And one of the things that you said in your first interview is that you really wanted more books for your students. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've been thinking about that?
Well, I feel like I don't have enough books that at the very beginning, when they're emerging readers, they're just simple words where they can use their strategies, to figure out the words by the pictures, and I don't have enough of those. I feel like I need more of those.
And one of the things that you said when we were talking yesterday is that they don't have very many books to choose from. And in the session we talked about how them getting to choose their books
Makes a big difference.
It makes a big difference.
They get more excited because they pick the book rather than, here, Mrs. Turner would like you to read this all the time.
And I know we talked yesterday too about making sure that you have books for kids who are reading above the level, and that's the individualizing and differentiating instruction during Reader's Workshop. We talked about ways you could do that too. You talked a little bit about your coaching conference that you've been doing. Can you explain how you've been doing that in more detail, how you've changed that?
Well, I think I've changed it because I feel like I'm doing more one-on-one instead of, I feel like before I was just kind of, running around with my head cut off. Now I feel like I have a purpose and I can sit down and talk to one child, and I explained it to the children what I'm doing, and they're perfectly good with it. Didn't take much to get them into it, to where I'm working with someone, wait for me and I'll be with you as soon as I can. And I always tell them we use Post-it notes. And if they have something they want to share, they can put their Post-it note there and they can share it with me when I come sit with them. They also share it with their partner. They have a reading buddy
And
that
I
they can share it with.
that Post-it notes are a great way that, like you said, they can mark it in their book what they want to show their partner or you, or they can write a little bit something on it too. And that's one of the things that we talked about the night in my session as well. One of the things that you had commented on during the session is that you were excited about doing more book talks. You talked about how you had Fuzzy Fridays where you made sure that and you also have a high school student that comes in and helps you. So you made sure the kids all for sure got to read with someone on that Friday. You talked about having a book talk. Can you talk a little bit more about what you plan to do?
Well, now that I have some that are really getting into reading that have a little bit higher level, and they'll come and they're excited about a book, so I say, share that with the classroom. I'm going to have them share the book with the classroom. And I think it would be good precursor before when they get older, when they have to talk about a book or give a summary. And this is just kind of like a little precursor, because then they can tell us, what's the book about? What happened at the beginning, what happened in the middle, and what happened at the end. And I want to start doing that with my kids that are ready to do it.
And I know you said yesterday too when we were talking that you when you're introducing a book, you try to model those book talks so
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
when it comes time for them to do that, then they're a little bit more comfortable
Yeah.
with
I
that.
use the front cover. I talk about the title and I show them the front cover and then I ask them, right now we're working on setting. So we're really pushing setting. So I was like, where is this taking place? And I don't tell them the title at first. I'm going to look at the picture first. You know, and I give them an idea and then they tell me and then I tell them the title and I say, they compare the title to what they thought it was.
I think you're doing a lot of great things. Well, I appreciate you so much helping me out with this. And I think I've gotten so much out of the research about conferring, and I think we had a good time talking about that.
Oh, I think
together.
it's great when teachers talk.
Yes, I do too. Because I know that.
Because I get ideas from them and they get ideas from me. So.
I know last night when we were talking about how you have your kids buddy read
Mhm.
and they turn to each other and talk, that's a perfect book talk too. So they're already doing that. So then
Mhm.
I think as a first grade teacher, my kids, because I'm sure, did you do that with them last year, the
Mhm.
book talks?
Yeah.
So they should be ready to do that
Mhm.
this year as well. So that's something that I need to be doing in my room too. So I think it's great when teachers talk, and
We get ideas.
yes, some of the most beneficial
Hey.
professional development that I've
We
that I've
borrow.
gotten.
We borrow.
Yes. Thank you.
I was once told by a professor